Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I am.
Oh yeah. I'm grabbing into those stick.
Okay.
And maybe then she.
Oh,
How can we
no.
test that?
I'll send you the link right now.
Send it to her. They
I'll
will
send
come
it to
here.
her. Yes, they come here.
Okay. Today?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'll send her right now.
We'll send
Okay. Jai Shishi Guru Garananda Giridhari Shishi Radha Giri Hari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Rashita Rashita Shmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Rashita Rashita Shmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Rashita Rashita Shmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Rashita Rashita Shmar Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Rashita Rashita Shmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Mahabhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Padadas Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nama Church Laharidas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vrajamandal Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradati Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Gopashtami ki jai. Gopashtami Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Shri Shamali Damali Adi Dhenu Gan ki jai. Shri Aisheshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Anant Nanda Baba Yashoda Maya ki jai. Sarva Vrajavasi Gan ki jai. Sarva Vrajadevi Gan ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, sorry guys, I'm multitasking right now. Where is it? I just found out somebody might have dengue and they need the number of the blood test people, so I'm just sending it to her. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Lalita Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamshta. Sorry, I can. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry about that. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnuvaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad-Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varam Varanyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tam Shirasa Namami. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Shri Keshava Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad-Bhakti Vedanta Vamaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singharupine Shri Śrīmad-Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Iti Namine. Atimartya Charitraya Swashitanam Chapaline Jiva Dukhe Sadartaya Shri Nama Prema Daine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine. Shri Vaishabhanavi Devi Daitai Kripabdhai Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prapave Namaha. Madhuyo Jala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute. Namaste Gauravani Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine. Namo Gaura Kisharaya Shakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamane Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestam Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayine Kalo Kalmasha Nashaya Chanava Pataye Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jayatang Surato Pangur Mama Manda Mater Gati Matsarvasva Padam Pujo Radha Madana Mohana Devyad Vrindaranya Kalpa Drumada Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtalavi Seva Manusmarami
Shriman Rasarasarambhi Bangsivata Tatastita Karshan Venu Suner Gopir Gopinata Shristuna Anga Shamalima Chata Birabito Mandi Kritendi Param Jadyam Jagurodochisham Vidadatam Patam Barasya Shriya Vrindaranya Vilasinam Hridilasar Dama Viramodaram Radha Skanda Niveshito Jvalabhujam Dhyayema Damodaram Vrindayai Tulsidevai Priyayai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Haribol, everybody. So as you know, I got kind of pretty sick a couple days ago, and but I am better now. But I guess I'm still recovering. Yesterday, I woke up at 7 o'clock, and today I woke up at like 6:10. So that's why I started so late. It seems like every day I'm getting earlier though, so hopefully I won't start late again tomorrow. But yeah, just wanted to apologize for starting so late. Davanala sama sangsara dahane Dagda jiva kula yudhara karane Karuna varida kripa varida nibandi Guna sindhu guru charana kamala Nritya gita vadya Shri Hari Kirtane Rahena Magana Mahamata Mane Romanchakam Pashu Hoya Gora Preme Vandi Shri Guru Charana Kamala Sadarata Jini Vigraha Sevane Shringaradi Ar Mandira Marjane Karena Nijukta Yanugata Jane Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Charvachushaleya Peyara Samay Prasadana Krishnera Saduhoy Bhakta Yashvatane Nijatriptaroy Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Shri Radha Madhava Namarupa Gune Ananta Madhurya Lila Ashvadane Lubda Chitta Jini Hana Pratikshane Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Vraja Juvadanda Rati Sambardane Yukti Kore Saki Gane Vrindavane Ati Dakshata He Priyatama Gane Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Sarva Shastre Gane Shri Hari Sarupa Bhakta Gana Bhave She Anurupa Kintu Jini Prabhu Priyatama Rupa Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Jahara Prasade Krishna Kripa Pai Jara Prasade Anya Gatinai Trisandhya Ke Tirastava Dhyane Bhai Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Guru Devastakayati Jatna Kori Brahma Muhurte Pore Ucha Kori Vrindavana Nath Shakshat Shri Hari Seva Paishe Vasu Siddhi Kale Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Vandishe Guru Charana Kamala Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Sorry guys. Yeah, I thought it was Gopashtami tomorrow. Also, and then I thought the Parikram was going to Nandagaon today, so then I thought it was today. But maybe it is tomorrow. Oh, and Gargaraji, the light will come soon. I guess I can turn on a little light. Okay. Krishna hoite chaturmukha hoy Krishna se gonmukha Brahma hoite naradera mati Narada hoite vyasa Madhva kohe vyasa dasa Purna pragya parmana bhagati Grihari madhava vanshe Akshobhya paramahangse Shishya boli angikara kore Akshobhera shishya jaya Tirtha name parichaya Tar dase jnana sindhu tore Ta hoite daya nidhi Tar dasa vidya nidhi Rajendra hoilo taha hoite Tahara kinkara jaya Dharma name parichaya Parampara jano palo mate Jaya dharma dasya khyati Shri Purushottama jati Ta hoite brahmanya tirtha suri Vyasa tirtha tara dasa Lakshmipati vyasa dasa Taha hoite Maravendra puri Maravendra puri vara shishya vara shri ishvara Nityananda shri adeta vibo Ishvara puri ke dhanya korile Shri Chaitanya Jagar Guru Gora Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna He Anya Rupanuga Jane Rajivana Vishambara Priyankara Shri Sarupa Damodara Shri Gosami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajan Jiva Raghunatha Tar Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Vara Narottama Seva Para Jar Para Vishnata Yasha Vishnata Bhakta Sata Baladeva Jagannatha Tar Priya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Mahabhagavata Vara Shri Goraki Shora Vara Hari Bhajane Te Jan Mora Shri Varshavana Vivara Sada Seva Seva Para Tahara Daita Dasanama Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Sarupa Rupanuga Shri Keshava Bhakti Pragyana Goriya Vedanta Veta Maya Vadata Mohanta Kauravani Prachara Chardhama Pracharila Gauravani Bhakati Vedanta Swami Purailo Prabhupader Kama Keshapriya Mahajan Vamana Narayan Kauravani Tade Pranadhana Esava Harijan Gauranger Nijajan Tadera Uchishte Mora Kama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara. Because we started so late, I'm going to sing things double time. Yeah, just letting you know why. Vrindavana Vasi Jata Vaiṣṇavera Gana Pratame Vandana Kori Sabara Charana Lila Chala Vasi Jata Mahaprabhur Gana Bhumite Poriya Bandhon Sabara Charana Navadipa Vasi Jata Mahaprabhur Bhakta Sabara Charana Bandha Hoya Anurakta Mahaprabhur Bhakta Jata Gora Deshe Sthite Sabara Charana Bandha Koriya Pranati Je Deshe Vashi Gaurangera Gana Urdhva Bahu Kori Bandha Sabara Charana Hoya Chena Hoi Bena Prabhur Jata Dasa Sabhara Charana Bandho Tante Kori Ghasa Pramanda Tarite Shakti Tare Jane Jane Veda Purane Guna Gai Je Bashune Mahaprabhur Gana Sava Patita Pavana Tahelo Bimui Papilo Inu Sharana Vandana Korite Moi Koto Shakti Dhori Tamo Bhuti Doshe Moi Dambha Matra Kori Tathapi Mukera Bhagya Manera Ulasa Doshakshami Moadhame Korone Ja Dasa Sarva Vansha Siddhi Hoi Yama Bandha Chute Jagate Dulabha Hoya Prem Dhana Lute Manera Vasana Purna Achirate Hoya Devaki Nandana Dasa Elo Bekoya Jaya Vaiṣṇava Thakur Vaiṣṇava Thakur Vaiṣṇava Thakur Jaya Vaiṣṇava Thakur Jaya Vaiṣṇava Thakur Vaiṣṇava Thakur Vaiṣṇava Thakur Jaya Vaiṣṇava Thakur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedaya Kori Saparshara Sriya Dhama Sahayavatari Atyanta Dulabha Prema Kori Bare Dana Shikhaya Sharana Gati Bhakatera Prana Danyayatmani Vedana Gopite Varana Avashya Rakshibe Krishna Vishwasa Padana Bhaktula Matra Karye Rashikara Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jahara Mahara Prarthana Shune Shinanda Kumara Rupa Sanatana Pare Dante Trena Kori Bhakati Vinoda Pare Mohopada Dori কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে আমি তো ধামা শিখায়ে শরণাগতি করো হে উত্তমা জয় সপর্শরা জয় গোরা হরে সপর্শরা জয় গোরা হরে জয় রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন কৃষ্ণ দেব ভগবান বন্দে মানস মধুকরমর্পণে জপদ পঙ্কজমক রন্দে কৃষ্ণ দেব ভগবান বন্দে কৃষ্ণ দেব ভগবান বন্দে यद्यपि समाधिषु विधिरपि पश्यति न तव न काग्रमरीचे इदमिच्छामि निश्शामतवाच्युत तरपि कृपार्भुतवीचे कृष्ण ते भगवन्तं वन्दे कृष्ण ते भगवन्तं वन्दे भक्तिरुदाञ्चति यद्यपि माधव न त्वयि मम तिलमात्रे परमेश्वर तत्रपि तवाधिक दुर्गत घटना विधात्रे कृष्ण देव भगवन्तं वन्दे कृष्ण देव भगवन्तं वन्दे अयमविलोलता यद् सनातन कलितद्भुतरसभारा निवसतु नित्यमिहामृतनेन्दिने विन्दनमाधुरीमा सारां कृष्णदेव भगवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भगवन्तं वन्दे जय राधे जय जय माधव दायिते गोकुलतरुणी मण्डलमाहिते राधे जय जय माधव दायिते राधे जय जय माधव दायिते दामोदर राधे वर्धन वेशे हरिणे स्कुटवृन्दा विपिनेशे राधे जय जय माधव दायिते राधे जय जय माधव दायिते वृषभानुदादि नवशशिले केलानित सखी गुण रमित विशाखे जय राधे जय जय माधव दायिते करुणा गुरु माई करुणा भरी ते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते जय राधे जय जय माधव दायिते राधे जय जय माधव दायिते नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं सुचारुवक्त्रमण्डलं सुकर्णरत्नकुण्डलं सुचर्चिताङ्गचन्दनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं सुदीर्घनेत्रपङ्कजं शिखिशिकाण्डमूर्धजम् अनङ्गकोटिमोहनं नमामि नन्दनन्दनं सुनासिकाग्रमौक्तिकं स्वच्छन्दतन्तपङ्क्तिकं Navam Budanga Chikanam Namami Nandanandanam Karena Venuranjitam Kati Karendra Ganjitam Dukula Pita Shobhanam Namami Nandanandanam Tribanga Deha Sundaram Nakadyute Sudakaram Amulya Ratna Bhushanam Namami Nandanandanam Sugandhayanga Sauravam Muro Viraji Kostubam Spurvachi Vatsalancanam Namami Nandanandanam Vrindavana Sunagaram Vilasanoga Surendra Garvamochanam Namami Nandanandanam Prajangana Sunayakam Sada Sukha Pradayakam Jaganmana Pralobanam Namami Nandanandanam Shinandanashtakam Paterya Shadayanvita Tared Bhavakti Dustaram Labetaram Priyugmakam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Bhakra Pankaje Nekunja Vilasini Rajendra Bhanu Nandini Rajendra Suna Sangate Kada Karishasi Hama Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Ashoka Vriksha Vallari Vitana Mandapastite Pravala Vala Pallava Prabharunangri Komale Parabhaya Spurat Kare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Kada Karisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bhangura Bhrubam Savibhramam Sasambhramam Driganta Bana Patana Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratiti Nandanandane Kada Karisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Parasta Koti Sharadendu Mandala Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakora Shavalochane Kada Karisha Shrihama Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Madon Madati Yovane Pramoramana Mandite Priyanuraka Ranjite Kala Vilasa Pandite Ananya Dhanya Kunjaraja Kama Keliko Vide Kada Karisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Asheshahava Bhavadira Hirahara Bhushite Prabhuta Shata Kumbha Kumbha Kumbhi Kumbha Sustani Prashasta Mandahasya Chunapurna Sokya Sagare Kada Karisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajana Nala Vala Vallari Taranga Ranga Dolate Latagra Lasya Lola Nila Lochana Valokani Lala Lula Nilan Manogya Mugda Mohanashite Kada Karisha Sihama Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Suvarna Malikanchita Tireka Kambu Kanthage Trisutra Mangali Guna Triratna Dipti Diditi Salola nila kuntala prasuna gucha gompite kada karishasi hamam kripa kataksha bhajanam nitam bimbalam vamana pushpame kala gune prashastaratna kinkini Kalapamadhyamanjuli Karendra Shunda Dandika Varoha Soba Goruke Kada Karishasi Hama Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Aneka Mantra Naramanjunu Pura Ravaskalat Samaja Raja Hamsa Vangsha Nikvanati Gaurave Vilola hema vallari vidambi charu chankrame kada karishasi hama kripa kataksha bhajanam ananta koti vishnu loka namra parmajarchite himadrija pulo maja Virencha javara prade apara se dire didigda sapadangulena ke kada karisha sihama kripa kataksha bhajanam Makeshwari Kriyeshwari Sareshwari Sureshwari Trivera Bharateshwari Pramana Shashaneshwari Rameshwari Kshameshwari Pramorakananeshwari Vrajeshwari Vrajadipe Shiradike Namostute Iti Mamarbutam Stavam Nishamya Bhanunandini Karotu Santatam Janam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Pavetadaiva Sanchita Trirupa Karmanashanam Pavetada Vrajendra Suno Mandala Praveshanam Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Namameshwaram Sachiranandarupam Alasat Kundala Gokule Brajamana Yashoda Piyoloka Ladhavamana Paramrishtamatan Tatodruta Gopyarutantam Mohunetrayumam Mrijantam Karam Bhojayugmena Satam Karnetram Mohushvasakampa Trirekhanka Kantha Stita Graivadamodaram Bhakti Bhadamiti Drik Swalilabi Ananda Kunde Swagoshami Jantamakhya Payantam Tadiyeshitargeshu Bhakterjitatam Puna Premata Sam Shatabriti Vande Varam Deva Moksham Namokshavadeva Ona Chanyam Vrineha Vareshat Apiha Dante Vapurnata Gopala Bala Sadame Manasyavi Rastam Kimanyai Idam te Mukam Bhojama Vyaktanila Vitam Kuntala Snigdharakta Ishtagopya Mohushum Vitam Bimba Rakta Dharani Manasya Virasta Malamakshalabha Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasiddha Prabhu Dukha Jalabdi Magna Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dina Patanu Vihane Shama Gyameda Shidrisha Nama Mishwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasa Kundalam Gokule Prajamana Kuberatmajo Bhadamuttai Vayadat Tvaya Mochito Bhakti Bhajo Kritocha Tata Prema Bhakti Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha Namaste Studame Spuradipti Dame Tadiya Darayata Vishwasadhame Namo Radhikaya Tadiya Priyaya Namo Radhikaya Tadiya Priyaya Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Damodara 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 Radha Damodara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitil I'm just going to do abbreviated Jaitwani Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Saparshad Shri Gaura Hari Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Vrindevi Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Kartik Vrat Ki Jai Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai 1 second. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai Shri Shingadev Ki Jai Bhakta Pravar Shri Prahlāda Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, not way too bad. We're 6 minutes late for the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reading, which isn't. Dandavat Pranams, Gargaraji, Raseshwari Mataji, Indira Mataji, Manjari Didi, and Manjari, yeah, I can do the spooky morning melody. I'll do that tomorrow. I was in a rush today, so I just didn't. Dandavat Pranams, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji. Whoever is watching on the Gaudiya Kirtan live page, it doesn't show me your name for some reason on that page. Ganga Didi, Dandavat Pranams. And Rajesh Rajesh Syal. Haribol. All right. Let me open up the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad-Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namane. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yam pravrajantam anupetam apeta krityam dvaipayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinedu stang sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet Shrinvatang Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantasto Yabhadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam Nashta Prayeshvabhadreshu Nitang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtakama Titaram Kamadhe Kripa Maitam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, so let's go over what we read yesterday. Oh guys, give me a second. I should listen to this message that somebody sent me. It might be urgent. Okay, I'm back. So, Prahlāda Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakasipu. Prahlada's education under... So we read about Prahlada's education under Shukracharya's sons. Then Prahlāda instructs Hiranyakashipu in bhakti. Then Sanda and Amarka chastise Prahlāda and forcefully teach him. Then Prahlāda Maharaj describes the 9 processes of bhakti to Hiranyakasipu. Now, we're at Hiranyakasipu, he becomes angry and asks Prahlāda who taught him this knowledge. So that's where we are today, right? We're reading 25 to 52. Okay. Let me just open this up. Just did a very short recap today because I have a lot to get through today and I want to finish before 8 o'clock. Reading 6,100 something words. Okay. Yeah, and yesterday we read that long purport. Oops, what am I doing? What the heck happened? Sorry. What? That's so annoying. It just closed all of a sudden for no reason. Let me reopen. Up. There. Oh, there it is. Okay. There, okay. Nisham yaitatsuta vacho hiranyakashipustada Guru Putram Uvachedam Rusha Praspuritadhara. So Prahlāda Maharaj said to Hiranyakashipu, that verse, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmani Vedanam Iti Pungsa Pitar Vishnu Bhaktischan Navalakshana. How does it go? Anyways, he said that verse to Hiranyakashipu, and so the 9 processes of bhakti. And so, after hearing these words of devotional service from the mouth of his son Prahlāda, Hiranyakashipu was extremely angry. His lips trembling, he spoke as follows to Sanda, the son of his guru, Shukracharya. Brahma bandhu kimitate vipaksham shayatat sata asaram grahito balo mam anadrita durmate. Sorry, I'll say the verses slower. No. O unqualified, most heinous son of a Brahman, you have disobeyed my order and taken shelter of the party of my enemies. You have taught this poor boy about devotional service. What is this nonsense? Purport. In this verse, the word asaram, meaning having no substance, is significant. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. For a demon, there is no substance in the process of devotional service. But to a devotee, devotional service is the only essential factor in life. Since Hiranyakashipu did not like devotional service, the essence of life, he chastised Prahlāda Maharaj's teachers with harsh words. Santi yasadavo loke durmaitras chadmaveshina desham udetagam kale roga patakinam iva. In due course of time, various types of diseases are manifest in those who are sinful. Similarly, in this world, there are many deceptive friends in false garbs, but eventually, because of their false behavior, their actual enmity becomes manifest. Purport. Being anxious about the education of his boy Prahlāda, Hiranyakashipu was very much dissatisfied. When Prahlāda began teaching about devotional service, Hiranyakashipu immediately regarded the teachers as his enemies in the garb of friends. In this verse, the words roga patakinam iva refer to disease, which is the most sinful and miserable of the conditions of material life, janma mritu jara vyadi. Disease is a symptom of the body of a sinful person. The Smriti Shastras say, Brahmaha kshayarogi syat surapyasya vadantaka svarna hari tukunaki dushcharma guru talpaga. Murderers of Brahmins are later afflicted by tuberculosis. Drunkards become toothless. Those who have stolen gold are afflicted by diseased nails. And sinful men who have sexual connections with the wife of a superior are afflicted by leprosy and similar skin diseases. Oh God. Some jokes just came in my head, but I won't say them. Okay. Shri Guru Putra Uvacha Na mat pranitam na para pranitam Suto vadatte shatavendra shatro Naisargikiyam matirasya rajam Niyachamanyum ka smamana. The son of Shukracharya, Hiranyakashipu's spiritual master, said, O enemy of Indra, O king, whatever your son Prahlāda has said was not taught to him by me or anyone. It was not taught by me or anyone else. His spontaneous devotional service has naturally developed in him. Therefore, please give up your anger and do not unnecessarily accuse us. It is not good to insult a Brahmin in this way. Shri Narad Uvacha Guru Naivam Prati Prokto Bhuya Aha Sura Sutam Nacher Guru Mukhiyam Te Kuto Bhadrasati Mati. Shri Narad continued. When Hiranyakashipu received this reply from the teacher, he again addressed his son Prahlāda. Hiranyakashipu said, You rascal, most fallen of our family! If you have not received this education from your teachers, where have you gotten it? Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that devotional service is actually bhadrasati, not abhadrasati. In other words, knowledge of devotional service can be neither inauspicious nor contrary to etiquette. To learn devotional service is the duty of everyone. Therefore, the spontaneous education of Prahlāda Maharaj is supported as auspicious and perfect. Shri Prahlāda Uvacha Matirna Krishne Parata Svatova Mito Bipadyeta Grihavratanam Adanta Gobhir Vishitam Tamisram Puna Punascharvita Charvananam. This is a famous verse. Charvita Charvananam, chewing the chewed. It's talking about householder life, right? Prahlāda Maharaj replied, Because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Purport. In this verse, the words Matirna Krishna refer to devotional service rendered to Krishna. So-called politicians, erudite scholars, and philosophers who read Bhagavad Gita try to twist some meaning from it to suit their material purposes. But their misunderstandings of Krishna will not yield them any profit. Because such politicians, philosophers, and scholars are interested in using Bhagavad Gita as a vehicle for adjusting things materially, for them, constant thought of Krishna, or Krishna consciousness, is impossible. Matirna Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only through devotional service can one understand Krishna as he is. The so-called politicians and scholars think of Krishna as fictitious. The politician says that his Krishna is different from the Krishna depicted in Bhagavad Gita. Although he accepts Krishna and Ram as a supreme, and he thinks of Ram and Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea... Even though he accepts Krishna and Ram as a supreme, he thinks of Ram and Krishna as impersonal because he has no idea of service to Krishna. Thus his only business is puna punash charvita charvananam, chewing the chewed again and again. The aim of such politicians and academic scholars is to enjoy this material world with their bodily senses. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that those who are grihavrata, whose only aim is to live comfortably with the body in the material world, cannot understand Krishna. The two expressions grihavrata and charvita charvananam indicate that a materialistic person tries to enjoy sense gratification in different bodily forms, life after life, but he is still unsatisfied. In the name of personalism, this ism or that ism, such persons always remain attached to the materialistic way of life, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 2:44. Bhogaishva prasaktanam taya prahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Those who are attached to material enjoyment cannot be fixed in devotional service to the Lord. They cannot understand Bhagavan, Krishna, or his instruction, Bhagavad Gita. Adanta gobir vishitam tamisram. Their path actually leads toward hellish life. As confirmed by Rishabdev, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahor Vimukte. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 552. One must try to understand Krishna by serving a devotee. The word Mahat refers to a devotee. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritamashita bhajantananyo manaso gyatva bhuddhatimavyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Bhagavad Gita 9:13. A Mahatma is one who is constantly engaged in devotional service 24 hours a day. As explained in the following verses, unless one adheres to such a great personality, one cannot understand Krishna. Hiranyakasipu wanted to know where Prahlāda had gotten this Krishna consciousness. Who had taught him? Prahlāda sarcastically replied, "My dear father, persons like you never understand Krishna. One can understand Krishna only by serving a Mahat, a great soul. Those who try to adjust material conditions are said to be chewing the chewed. No one has been able to adjust material conditions, but life after life, generation after generation, people try and repeatedly fail. Unless one is properly trained by a Mahat, a Mahatma or unalloyed devotee of the Lord, there is no possibility of one's understanding Krishna and his devotional service." One second, I'm just muting my mic. Okay. Mate vidu svarta gatim hai Vishnu durashaya ye bahirartamanina andayatandar upaniyamanas te pishatantram urudam nibadha. Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. I unmuted myself, right? Yes. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached men are bound by the ropes of fruit of labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. Purport. Sorry, I need to be talking in Prahlāda voice. I've just been talking my own. Purport. Since there must always be a difference of opinion between demons and devotees, Hiranyakasipu, when criticized by his son Prahlāda Maharaj, should not have been surprised that Prahlāda Maharaj differed from his way of life. Nonetheless, Hiranyakasipu was extremely angry and wanted to rebuke his son for deriding his teacher, a spiritual master, who had been born in the Brahmin family of the great Acharya Shukracharya. The word Shukra means semen, and Acharya refers to a teacher or guru. Hereditary gurus or spiritual masters have been accepted everywhere since time immemorial, but Prahlāda Maharaj declined to accept such a seminal guru or take instruction from him. An actual guru is Shrotriya, one who has heard or received perfect knowledge through parampara, the disciplic succession. Therefore, Prahlāda Maharaj did not recognize a seminal spiritual master. Such spiritual masters are not at all interested in Vishnu. Indeed, they are hopeful of material success, bahir atir manina. The word bahi means external, artha means interest, and manina means taking very seriously. Generally speaking, practically everyone is unaware of the spiritual world. The knowledge of the materialist is restricted within the 4 billion mile limit of this material world, which is in the dark portion of the creation. They do not know that beyond the material world is the spiritual world. Unless one is a devotee of the Lord, one cannot understand the existence of the spiritual world. Gurus, teachers, who are simply interested in this material world are described in this verse as andha, blind. Such blind men may lead many other blind followers without true knowledge of material conditions, but they are not accepted by devotees like Prahlāda Maharaj. Such blind teachers, being interested in the external material world, are always bound by the strong ropes of material nature. Naishtamatistavar uru kramangrim sprishatanartha pagamo yadartha mahiya sampada rajobhishekam nishkinchananam navirinitayavat. I want to try to memorize all these verses. They're quoted so often. They're very important. This one especially. Shamarani Mataji was just quoting this one in Namas's podcast. Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaiṣṇava, completely free from material contamination, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for his uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord in this way can one be freed from material contamination. Purport. Becoming Krishna conscious brings about anartha apagama, the disappearance of all anarthas, the miserable conditions we have unnecessarily accepted. The material body is the basic principle of these unwanted miserable conditions. The entire Vedic civilization is meant to relieve one from these unwanted miseries. But persons bound by the laws of nature do not know the destination of life. As described in the previous verse, Isha Tantram Urudamni Badha, they are conditioned by the 3 strong modes of material nature. The education that keeps the conditioned soul bound life after life is called materialistic education. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that materialistic education expands the influence of Maya. Such an education induces the conditioned soul to be increasingly attracted to materialistic life and to stray further and further away from liberation from unwanted miseries. One may ask why highly educated persons do not take to Krishna consciousness. The reason is explained in this verse. Unless one takes shelter of a bona fide, fully Krishna conscious spiritual master, there is no chance of understanding Krishna. The educators, scholars, and big political leaders worshipped by millions of people cannot understand the goal of life and take to Krishna consciousness, for they have not accepted a bona fide spiritual master and the Vedas. Therefore, in the Mundaka Upanishad 3.2.3, it is said, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo namedhayana bahuna shrutena. One cannot become self-realized simply by having an academic education, by presenting lectures in an erudite way, pravachanena labhya, or by being an intelligent scientist who discovers many wonderful things. One cannot understand Krishna unless one is graced by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only one who has surrendered to a pure devotee of Krishna and taken the dust of his lotus feet can understand Krishna. First, one must understand how to get out of the clutches of Maya. The only means is to become Krishna conscious. And to become Krishna conscious very easily, one must take shelter of a realized soul, a Mahat or Mahatma, whose only interest is to engage in the service of the Supreme Lord. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9:13, Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrita bhajantananya manaso gyatva bhuta dimavyayam avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Therefore, to end the unwanted miseries of life, one must become a devotee. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavata kinchana savargunas tatra samasate sura. One who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna consistently manifests all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods. That's from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5:18-12. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasaite katita hyartha prakashante mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6:23. Yame Vaisha vrinute tena labhyas tashaisha atma vivrinute tanung svam. The Lord is obtained only by one who he himself chooses. To such a person, he manifests his own form. Mundaka Upanishad 3:2-3. These are Vedic injunctions. One must take shelter of a self-realized spiritual master, not a materially educated scholar or politician. One must take shelter of a nishkinchana, a person engaged in devotional service and free from material contamination. That is the way to return home, back to Godhead. Ityuktva paratam putram Hiranyakasipu rusha andhikritatma swatsangan nirasyata mahitale. After Prahlāda Maharaj had spoken in this way and become silent, Hiranyakasipu, blinded by anger, threw him off his lap and onto the ground. Ahamarsha rusha vishta kashayi bhutalochana badhyatam ashvayam vadhyo nisara yatanairita. Indignant and angry, his reddish eyes like molten copper, Hiranyakasipu said to his servants, "O demons, take this boy away from me. He deserves to be killed. Kill him as soon as possible." Ayame bhratirhasoyam hitva swan suhrido dhama pitrivya hantupadoyo Vishnur dasa vararchati. This boy Prahlāda is the killer of my brother, for he has given up his family to engage in the devotional service of the enemy, Lord Vishnu, like a menial servant. Purport. Hiranyakasipu considered his son Prahlāda Maharaj to be the killer of his brother because Prahlāda Maharaj was engaged in the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. In other words, Prahlāda Maharaj would be elevated to Sarupya liberation, and in that sense, he resembled Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Prahlāda was to be killed by Hiranyakasipu. Devotees, Vaiṣṇavas, attain liberations of Sarupya, Salokya, Sarsti, and Samipya, whereas the Mayavadis are supposed to attain the liberation known as Sayuja. Sayuja Mukti, however, is not very secure, whereas Sarupya Mukti, Salokya Mukti, Sarshti Mukti, and Samipya Mukti are most certain. Although the servants of Lord Vishnu, Narayan, and the Vaikuntha planets are equally situated with the Lord, the devotees there know very well that the Lord is the master, whereas they are the servants. And Sarupya meaning that having the same form as the Lord. Salokya means living on the same planet to the Lord. Sarshti means having the same opulences as the Lord, right? I think so. And Samipya means remaining near to the Lord. Vishnurva sadvaso kimnu karishyatya asamanjasa sohridam dustyajang pitrur aharya panchahayana. Although Prahlāda is only 5 years old, even at this young age, he has given up his affectionate relationship with his father and mother. Therefore, he is certainly untrustworthy. Indeed, it is not at all believable that he will behave well toward Vishnu. That's interesting. It's not at all believable that he'll behave well toward Vishnu. Paropyapatyam hitakridyataushadam sadehajopyamayavat sutohita chindyatarangam yaran utatmano hitam shesham sukam jivati yadvivarjanat. Although a medicinal herb being born in the forest does not belong to the same category as a man, if beneficial, it is kept very carefully. Similarly, if someone outside one's family is favorable, he should be given protection like a son. On the other hand, if a limb of one's body is poisoned by disease, it must be amputated so that the rest of the body may live happily. Similarly, even one's own son, if unfavorable, must be rejected, although born of one's own body. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed all devotees of the Lord to be humbler than the grass and more tolerant than trees. Otherwise, there will always be disturbances to their execution of devotional service. Here is a vivid example of how a devotee is disturbed by a non-devotee, even though the non-devotee is an affectionate father. The material world is such that a non-devotee father becomes an enemy of a devotee son. Having determined to kill even his son, Hiranyakasipu gave the example of amputating a part of one's body that has become septic and therefore injurious to the rest of the body. The same example, of course, may also be applied to non-devotees. Chanakya Pandit advises, Tyadra durjana sangsargam bhaja sadhu samagamam. Devotees actually serious about advancing in spiritual life should give up the company of non-devotees and always keep the company with devotees. To be too attached to material existence is ignorance, because material existence is temporary and miserable. Therefore, devotees who are determined to perform tapasya, penances and austerities, to realize the self, and who are determined to become advanced in spiritual consciousness, must give up the company of atheistic non-devotees. Prahlāda Maharaj maintained an attitude of non-cooperation with the philosophy of his father, Hiranyakasipu, yet he was tolerant and humble. Hiranyakasipu, however, being a non-devotee, was so polluted that he was even prepared to kill his own son. He justified this by putting forward the logic of amputation. And I've always understood whenever it says, keeping the company, being in the association of, it means connecting, like revealing your heart, connecting in a deeply spiritual way with that person. It doesn't mean that we should just stop talking to our parents, if your mother and father aren't devotees or something, just shun them or anything like that. But it just means, having friendly dealings and, but your heart, that's only for Guru and Krishna and the Vaishnavas. One second, let me just drink water. Sarvarupayar hantavya sambhoja shayanasanai Surlinga dhara shatrur munir dushtam ivendriyam. Just as uncontrolled senses are the enemy of all yogis engaged in advancing in spiritual life, this Prahlāda, who appears to be a friend, is an enemy, because I cannot control him. Therefore, this enemy, whether eating, sitting, or sleeping, must be killed by all means. Purport. Hiranyakasipu planned a campaign to kill Prahlāda Maharaj. He would kill his son by administering poison to him while he was eating, by making him sit in boiling oil, or by throwing him under the feet of an elephant while he was lying down. Thus Hiranyakasipu decided to kill his innocent child, who was only 5 years old, simply because the boy had become a devotee of the Lord. This is the attitude of non-devotees toward devotees. Nairitastes, is there a line missing? There is a line missing. Nairitaste samadhishta bhartra vaishulapanayo tegmadangstra kalalayas tamras shmashru shiroruha nadanta bhairavam nadam chindi bindhitivadina asinam chahanang shulai Prahlādam sarvamarmashu. Oh, you remember in the Sringadev play, Chindi, Bindi, chop them up in pieces. Yes, Chindi, Bindi, where is Chindi, Bindi? Hey, where is it? Can't even find those words. Anyways. The demons, the Rakshasas, the servants of Hiranyakasipu, thus began striking the tender parts of Prahlāda Maharaj's body with their tridents. The demons all had fearful faces, sharp teeth, and reddish, coppery beards and hair, and they appeared extremely threatening, making a tumultuous sound, shouting, "Chop him up! Pierce him!" Oh, I think that's what it was. Chindi, Bindi, chop him up and pierce him. Chindi, Bindi, chop him up and pierce him. That's what they did in the play. They began striking Prahlāda Maharaj, who sat silently, meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pare brahmanya nirdeshe bhagavatya kilatmani yuktatmanyapala asan apunyaseva satkriya. Even though a person who has no assets and pious activities performs some good deed, it will have no result. Thus, the weapons of the demons had no tangible effects upon Prahlāda Maharaj, because he was a devotee, undisturbed by material conditions and fully engaged in meditating upon and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is unchangeable, who cannot be realized by material senses, and who is the soul of the entire universe. Purport. Prahlāda Maharaj was constantly and fully engaged in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is said, Govindam parirambita. Prahlāda Maharaj engaged himself always in meditation, and thus he was protected by Govinda. Just as a small child in the lap of his father or mother is fully protected, a devotee in all conditions is protected by the Supreme Lord. Does this mean that when Prahlāda Maharaj was attacked by the demons, the Rakshasas, Govinda was also attacked by the demons? This is not possible. There have been many attempts by the demons to hurt or kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he cannot be injured by any material means because he is always in transcendence. Therefore, the words Pare Brahmani are used here. The demons, the Rakshasas, can neither see nor touch the Supreme Lord, although they may superficially think that they are striking the Lord's transcendental body with their material weapons. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in this verse as anirdeshya. We cannot understand him to be in a particular place, for he is all-pervasive. Moreover, he is akilatma, the active principle of everything, even material weapons. Those who cannot understand the position of the Lord are unfortunate. They may think that they can kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotee, but all their attempts will be futile. The Lord knows how to deal with them. Prayase pahate tasmin daitendra parishankita chakara tad padopayan nirbandhena yudhishthira. My dear King Yudhishthir, when all the attempts of the demons to kill Prahlāda Maharaj were futile, the king of the demons, Hiranyakasipu, being most fearful, began contriving other means to kill him. Digajar dandashukendrar abichara vapaptanai mayabi sanirodhaischa garadanar abhojanai parvakta parvatat kramanir api nashashaka yadahantum apapamasuram sutam chintam dirgatamam praptas tatkartum nabhyapadyatta. Oh, shoot, damn it. Sorry. Emavaya Bhagini Shalila. We're okay. Tatkartum nabhyapadyatta. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, there was a line missing. Sorry, let's reread this second verse. Himavaya Vagni Shalilai Parvata Kramanarapi Nashashaka Yadahantum Apapa Masura Sutam Chintam Dirgatamam Praptas Tatkartum Nabhyapadyatta. Yeah. Hiranyakashipu could not kill his son by throwing him beneath the feet of big elephants, by throwing him among huge, fearful snakes, employing destructive spells, hurling him from the top of a hill, conjuring up illusory tricks, administering poison, starving him, exposing him to severe colds, wind, fire, and water, or throwing heavy stones to crush him. When Hiranyakashipu found that he could not in any way harm Prahlāda, who is completely sinless, he was in great anxiety about what to do next. Esha me bhavasad tukto vadopayascha nirmita taistar drohar asad dharmar mukta svenaiva tejasa. Hiranyakashipu thought, I've used many ill names in chastising this boy Prahlāda, and have devised many means of killing him, but despite all my endeavors, he could not be killed. Indeed, he saved himself by his own powers, without being affected in the least by these treacherous and abominable actions. Vartamana vidure vai balapyajadadhir ayam na vismarati me naryam shuna shepa iva prabhu. Although he is very near to me and is merely a child, he is situated in complete fearlessness. One second. I should finish reading this. Although he is very near to me and is merely a child, he is situated in complete fearlessness. He resembles a dog's curved tail, which can never be straightened because he never forgets my misbehavior. And his connection with his master, Lord Vishnu. Sorry guys, something just came up in my mind and I just need to feel this. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Just stuff with my visa. Anyways, is urgent. Should I reread this because I did it so bad? Although he is very near to me and is merely a child, he is situated in complete fearlessness. He resembles a dog's curved tail which can never be straightened because he never forgets my misbehavior and his connection with his master, Lord Vishnu. Purport. The word Shuna means of a dog, and Shepa means tail. The example is ordinary. However, one may try to straighten a dog's tail, it is never straight but always curved. Shuna Shepa is also the name of a second son of Ajigartha. He was sold to Harishchandra, but he later took shelter of Vishwamitra, Harishchandra's enemy, and never left his side. So it has a double meaning. Aprameyanubhavoyam akutashtir bhayomara nunam etad virodhena mritur me bhavita nava. I can see that this boy's strength is unlimited, for he has not feared any of my punishments. He appears immortal. Therefore, because of my enmity toward him, I shall die. Or maybe this will not take place. Iti tachintaya kinchin lana shriyam adhomukam shandamarkav oshanaso vivikta iti hochatu. Thinking in this way, the king of the Daitas, morose and bereft of bodily luster, remained silent with his face downward. Then Sanda and Amarka, the two sons of Shukracharya, spoke to him in secret. Jitam tvayaikena jagatrayam bhruvo vijrimbana trasta samastat dishnyapam natasya chintyam tavanata chakshvahe na vaishishunam gunadoshayopadam. O Lord, we know that when you simply move your eyebrows, all the commanders of the various planets are most afraid. Without the help of any assistant, you have conquered all the three worlds. Therefore, we do not find any reason for you to be morose and full of anxiety. As for Prahlāda, he is nothing but a child and cannot be a cause of anxiety. After all, his bad or good qualities have no value. Imam tupashar varunasya badva nidehi bhito na palayate yatha buddhishcha pungso vayasarya sevaya yavar gurur bhargava agamishyati. Until the return of our spiritual master Shukracharya, arrest this child with the ropes of Varuna, so that he will not flee in fear. In any case, by the time he is somewhat grown up and has assimilated our instructions or served our spiritual master, he will change in his intelligence. Thus, there need be no cause for anxiety. Tateti guru putroktam anugyaye dhamma bravit dharma hyasyo padeshtavyo ragyam yo grihamedhinam. After hearing these instructions of Sanda and Amarka, the sons of his spiritual master, Hiranyakasipu agreed and requested them to instruct Prahlāda in that system of occupational duty which is followed by the royal householder families. Purport. Hiranyakasipu wanted Prahlāda Maharaj to be trained as a diplomatic king and ruling the kingdom, the country, or the world, but not to be advised about renunciation or the renounced order of life. The word dharma here does not refer to some religious faith. As clearly stated, dharma hyasya padeshtavyo ragyam yo grihamedhinam. There are two kinds of royal families, one whose members are simply attached to household life, and the other consisting of rajarshis, kings who govern with ruling power but are as good as great saints. Prahlāda Maharaj wanted to become a rajarshi, whereas Hiranyakasipu wanted him to become a king, attached to sense enjoyment, grihamedhinam. Therefore, in the Aryan system, there is Varnashram Dharma, by which everyone should be educated according to his position in society's division of Varna, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, and Ashram, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. A devotee purified by devotional service is always in the transcendental position, above the mundane qualities. Thus, the difference between Prahlāda Maharaj and Hiranyakasipu was that Hiranyakasipu wanted to keep Prahlāda in mundane attachment, whereas Prahlāda was above the modes of material nature. As long as one is under the control of material nature, his occupational duty is different from that of a person who is not under such control. One's real dharma, or occupational duty, is described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Dharmam tu Shakshad Bhagavat Pranitam. That's 6.3.19. As described to his order carriers by Dharmaraj, or Yamaraj, a living being is a spiritual identity, and therefore his occupational duty is also spiritual. The real dharma is that which is advised in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam braja. Bhagavad Gita 1866. One must give up one's material occupational duties, just as one must give up his material body. Whatever one's occupational duty, even according to the Varnashram system, one must give it up and engage in one's spiritual function. One's real dharma, or occupational duty, is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jivera Sarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. That is one's real occupational duty. Dharmam artam cha kamam cha nitaram chana purvasha prahradayo chaturajan prashritavanataya cha. Thereafter, Sanda and Amarka systematically and unceasingly taught Prahlāda Maharaj, who is very submissive and humble, about mundane religion, economic development, and sense gratification. Purport. There are 4 processes for human society: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and they culminate in liberation. Human society must follow a process of religion to advance, and on the basis of religion, one should try to develop his economic condition so that he can fulfill his needs for sense gratification according to the religious rules and regulations. Then, liberation from material bondage will be easier to attain. That is the Vedic process. When one is above the stages of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, one becomes a devotee. He is then on a platform from which he is guaranteed not to fall again to material existence. Yad gatva na nivartante. Bhagavad Gita 15.6. As advised in Bhagavad Gita, if one transcends these 4 processes and is actually liberated, one engages in devotional service. Then he is guaranteed not to fall to material existence again. Alright, so that is our reading for today. We only have a little bit left in this chapter. What time is it? Oh, 8 o'clock, finished just in time. Perfect. So tomorrow we will read about how Prahlāda begins to enlighten his schoolmates. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Kantar Vikagiri Dhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Srila Bhakti Bhagyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatarashatashmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gokishtaras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Dashraghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री नृसिंह भगवान की जय। भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री कार्तिक व्रत की जय। व्रत पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। और जय श्री श्री विश्वानंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवाय कृष्ण भक्ति पद देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। पंच कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। धन्यवाद प्रणाम everybody. हरि बोल। Oh, really, Prajna Prabhu? at Mukunda Datta Prabhu's house, huh? Cool. I'll check that out. Bhakti today. Yeah, that was a lovely festival. All right. Dandava pranams, everybody. Hari Bol.